Hey guys, welcome to AiDIY. AiDIY.tech is the website. I'm the AI music guy. My name's Matt. Today is going to be a little bit of a masterclass, so sort of a review of some interviews I've done in the past. It's highlighting some of the people who have made money through AI music in different ways. And if you're interested in that, definitely check this video out. Cool, so we have three people that I want to highlight that I've interviewed before. Cyberpunk Yard Dog, Zanzibar, and Scott Dunlap, who was an industry leader and insider at some, one of the record labels. And I just want to highlight that. I don't want to show, I've made some money, but these are the experts. They've done things that I haven't done, and I want to highlight them and show some of the stuff they've done and some specific things they've said in order to do that. And the reason being is I know not everybody wants to sit through every single podcast from beginning to end. So I want to just do a little clips here that show these people and what they've done. And this is an interesting one because I almost wasn't going to do this interview because one of my rules is being authentic. And Cyberpunk wears a mask. It's part of his persona. He's been doing that on YouTube for a long time. But I did. One of the cool things about it, he didn't start off to make money. He started off sort of as a powerful sort of wake-up call. He began remixing iconic music and nostalgic tributes to MTV's golden age with a futuristic twist. The first lesson, you don't need to start with a business plan. Start with what you love. And what it led to was being able to basically make music videos for guys like Snoop Dogg. They reached out to him and he's actually getting paid for his work. So here's a little bit to see on what Cyberpunk had to say on that issue.
I donned a mask and I created a name and I kept doing them. And the whole reasoning was behind it was because I had a near-death experience just prior to that. When I got back to work, it just changed me. I just wanted to do stuff that I like to do before my time was up, and started thinking about that real hard. And I realized that I love music because I'm an artist. Everybody in my family here plays a different instrument. They're all musicians and we love music. So I started thinking about my favorite thing, and my favorite thing in life so far was these MTV music videos I grew up watching back in the day, and decided that I wanted to do some fan-based music videos since we had editing capabilities now with some of this software they had out. And this is all pre-Suno. This is all before I found Suno. Oh man,
and Cyberpunk Yard Dogs. Now remember that guy? He was working with Bootsy Collins, cracked that nut for everybody else.
You know what? And this is another thing, Matt. I don't want everybody out there to think that I'm getting rich on that, because what they paid to do that Snoop Dogg video to those companies, there was two companies involved, Temple Cash and some other company, but what they paid those guys to probably do that video was probably so much money. Whereas they come to find somebody like me that can do the videos. That's not a big company for a reason. They're on a budget, obviously, or something. And it's fine with me. See, what I'm going for here is exposure. And that's what I've gained already. I've already gained new work, and these guys are willing to pay the new work. Dave Stewart from the Eurythmics, there's also some talk about something with Elton John, but that's something that's going to be with like West Coast and Elton John, like a featuring Elton John type thing, I think. But I don't know for sure about that, so we might not even mention that one, Matt.
I mean,
but
if I were for the outside looking in, and I don't necessarily have, in my opinion, not advice, I would probably not be doing it for so cheap for so long, because this could be like, the .com era. All right, the next one, and pretty much if you are in the AI music space, love or hate Zanzibar and Togs, you know who Zanzibar is. Zanzibar is very active in the community. I've known from the start that Zanzibar is very focused on monetizing. What I didn't know was how passionate Zanzibar was going to be about making enough money to be able to start an industry around it, to be able to basically pay people like me who do creative sort of things in this space and other people that do things. But he started creating music and AI-powered content that actually resonated with his students, not just as a teacher. He's a creator. Second lesson, to find a niche, a problem, and use AI music to solve it. That's the value. And Zanzibar is very much in the fantasy sort of realm and what resonates with that. But this is what Zanzibar has to say on the money part of that.
Started back, about 3 or 4 years ago. I was a teacher in Thailand, teaching English to Thai students as a second language. And I thought getting them to sing songs would be a good way to learn English and pronunciation and things like that. So I was like, what songs are there that they can learn? Oh, there's Baby Shark. These are teenagers. They don't like get songs like that. This is like boring kindergartner songs. I'm like, this is garbage. So I need to make songs that my teenagers can relate to that are like their style, like K-pop. I mean, they're mostly into K-pop stuff. So I'm like, okay, and video games and stuff that they like. Why are we singing Baby Shark? It doesn't make sense. If they're 5-6-year-olds, maybe, but these are like 13, 14-year-olds, teenagers.
You put out a lot of content, and you're mixing and matching. Like, first of all, have you been monetized? What does that look like? Are there other sort of revenue streams you're looking at within what you're doing? What are your plans? And the reason I like to ask this because a lot of people have no idea, and they want to.
I want to say, one of the major success stories is somebody that doesn't know anything. And now I have 2,700 subscribers right now.
Wow,
a lot,
yeah,
huge, 2,700. So yeah, I'm definitely there. I tried incorporating other streams of revenue. Like I have 800 followers now on TikTok. I basically what I do on TikTok is I release the short that I also release on my YouTube on TikTok and say you want to watch the full video, come to my YouTube channel. Yeah. So I won't release the full on TikTok. No, just a 30-second clip. Come to my YouTube channel. Kind of like what Mr. Beast did. Another thing I have is Bandcamp because you actually recommended Bandcamp on my because I don't believe in DistroKid. I really have a bad.
Well, that's one of the things we can dive into.
And what the history is with the AI community, I'm like, no, I won't touch DistroKid. So I was like, okay, I want another thing. Bandcamp works, but I've only made maybe $10 total off Bandcamp.
That's huge because most people. No, that's
getting my name out there, getting people, getting people out there, getting people to connect.
$10 is friggin' huge right now for streaming this sort of stuff.
Yeah,
that's hundreds of times more than what people are getting through Spotify or whatever.
And whole dollars, wow.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I haven't. Mostly, the people that I'm looking at are not looking at $10. So I'm glad that Bandcamp worked for you. What's that?
Like Lifetime. Ever since I dropped Bandcamp, $10 total.
Yeah, I know, but this is early days. This is what we all need to understand: is everything about this is early days. Any success at all is compounded 800 times because it's early days.
And I
we're still
just
trying to figure
sold
these
my real world merch on Bonfire. And the reason why I chose Bonfire and not Printify and all that, the quality.
Yeah,
there's from what I've been reading about the reviews. Again, I haven't actually ordered a physical product myself, but they have the best quality when it comes to that. So that's why I chose it because I'm like, I want quality products. I mean, it's going to be more expensive. I get it, but at the end of the day, it's quality. So that's what I don't want my fans buying cheap stuff.
All right, and our last person that I want to highlight is Scott Dunlap, and I was very lucky to have Scott featured on my artist segment. I reached out to Scott when he said his life story about some of the things he's done. He's actually been involved in the record industries before, specifically around monetization with some big known celebrities we didn't name outright on the episode, but are well-known artists. Yeah, and it was very eye-opening to me, and this is what Scott had to say, or a few things that Scott had to say around that.
So the record label doesn't know what's being downloaded. They don't know what's streaming through these websites. The websites, Spotify, Apple, YouTube, they send reports back to the record labels, and depending on the volumes, the reports come daily, weekly, monthly. Monthly reports are what's used to pay royalties, or used to when I was in the business. And then the daily and the weeklies are like marketing reports. So they're telling you what they've sold, and then as a label you have audit rights and you can go and audit that. There are a lot of mistakes. Anytime I would talk to an artist, I tell them, pay attention to your digital rights. Say Sony comes out, or with the, I don't know, what was it, a compilation album, let's say, all right? And that compilation album has tracks from Universal and Warner Brother on it too. So in the early days, I mean, these companies that were popping up all over, they would just go to a Walmart and buy the CDs, rip them as MP3s, and put them up, and then send you a report say, "Hey, we sold this." Um,
Okay.
and it's they've got the wrong information, and so
Yeah.
the record label can't process the royalties, can't pay the artist. It goes into a bucket, and every label has a different name for that bucket. Some people call it suspense or unidentified, different things like that. And when I was there was millions of dollars in there, and you don't know who it belongs to. So periodically, I mean, the label would take and say, "Okay, we're going to distribute this, and we're going to distribute it evenly across all artists."
Yeah. Okay.
So, and honestly, this is what I'm thinking is going to happen. If
Oh, and I think that's actually common in the industry. It's been for since the '70s. I think Richard Branson in his book said they would distribute stuff across the artists as well, even before digital streaming.
yeah, so I think it's a common practice. It was common when I was working in digital, and so thinking of AI music, and especially you mentioned Google and VO3. Google owns YouTube, and YouTube and Google have license agreements with every major label, right?
Yeah.
And so now there would be specific digital rights related to AI, but that's an easy legal thing that you can write, and they can figure out royalties easy, like you do now with a subscription. The way subscription works, if you're not familiar, is like, okay, you have a Spotify subscription and you pay your money and it all goes into a subscription pool. And then Spotify looks and says, okay, what labels, were played over this period of time, and what percentage of what we played belongs to that label. And then you get a percentage of that subscription pool of money based on the amount of music that belonged to you that was played, if you follow.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So that would reward the people that put out a lot of music.
Well, that's going to solve your copyright.
Yeah.
And so I mean, so those copyright lawsuits, I think that the labels have just put those there just to protect themselves.
Yeah.
As soon as they can make a buck off AI music, there'll be licensing agreements. So
Yeah. And my impression of this, when they first put the lawsuit out, was that they wanted to be in on the subscription service. They wanted to, and this could be right or wrong, that they wanted their own platforms, get rid of Suno and Udio, and you can pay us $10 a month across, millions of people that are making their own music, and even if we can't figure out how to make money off of the actual songs themselves, we get platform subscriptions like that may or may not, and then they can double down once they figure that other part out too. Okay, so the revenue streams that you can basically break down to content creation and shorts. Zanzibar built a following around consistent, relatable content, at least within his audience, and that's what you want to target anyway. The monetizations through YouTube, TikTok, and Patreon, which I haven't touched that one, and I know TikTok's great because the algorithm. Freelance and commission work. Now, this is an area that I'm starting to explore at the moment. Cyberpunk offered video or audio services with AI tools. You can actually reach out to Cyberpunk. He'll do it now for a fee. You can work for smaller labels, indie artists, or content creators. Licensing and royalties. You can register your AI music properly, use services like DistroKid, RouteNote to distribute, or all those. I mean, there's always sort of people talking about what's the best distributor to use. You find your own, do your own research. Figure out what it means to register your AI music. This is a hot topic, and it's argued back and forth, and within people that understand and don't understand, and there's nuance to it. Do your research on that, but licensing and royalties is a way. Subscription models. Sell sample packs, loops, and remixes. Offer memberships for exclusive AI content. Whatever you take, the key is clarity, consistency, and creativity. You want to stand out and be different. The impact is beyond profit. Why you create in the first place is what shows through to your audience. No one's going to connect to you if you're throwing out rubbish and it's inauthentic. To a point, I guess the most inauthentic band right now, or group right now, that's getting millions of hits, is probably the most inauthentic one. But as a rule, that's not the case. So, and by the way, I'm trying to get an interview with those people specifically because they're super successful. I won't mention their name because I don't want to give them any more airtime what they have, which is a lot. But look, thanks for tuning in. I hope you subscribe below. If you want to support the channel, you can buy some t-shirts. The links are down below. You can leave a donation or check out my charity that I support, which is the John Fawcett Foundation. The link should be here, but it's definitely down below as well. I'd love to see you leave a donation or put a donation through my website, which is AiDIY.tech. The charity link is up above. I just do that so I can track the donations. Otherwise, they're completely invisible to me, which is fine, but I like to thank the people who do the donations personally on the charity. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.